Welcome to City Hall in Focus. I'm Gloria Cohn. The internet has made our lives so much easier in so many different ways. I don't know what I'd do without it right now. However, criminals have found a way to victimize us using cyberspace or in cyberspace. The Chief of Police of San Carlos, Greg Rothus, is here with us today to talk about cyberspace and the crime in cyberspace. What are some of the trends that you're seeing?
Well, obviously some of the most prevalent kind of victimization schemes is the concept of identity theft, and I think we've all heard that, and many of us maybe have either been a victim of it or we know somebody who has, and it certainly creates an enormous amount of turmoil in life. So stealing people's identity and then over the internet opening accounts in their name and charging up accounts in their name is one of the things that we see, maybe one of the most prevalent. Another, and many of us have gotten these kinds of emails from somebody who says they're coming, that you've won a contest or that there's money for you sitting over here and all you need to do is pay me some money and then you can go get that money. And those are two of the most prevalent things that we're seeing as it relates to theft in cyberspace.
What realistically can you do about this?
Well, I think the first thing to understand is when something like that occurs, it's very difficult for the police to come in at times and to solve that crime and to make you whole again. So the idea is to prevent it from occurring in the first place. So a couple things is monitoring your own credit, and you can do that through a variety of commercial credit monitoring companies who will do that for you. And then some other simple things is changing your passwords frequently on your system so people can't break in, and to make those passwords complicated. They're a pain for us when we do it because it's also hard for us to remember, but it can really protect you. So those things are key. Also, if it sounds too good to be true and you got it in an email, it probably is. And so if you get an email from somebody that says there's a bucket of money waiting for you or some other kind of a scam and it doesn't sound right to you, don't bite on those. On those particularly, we're almost never able to track down who those people are. It's extremely difficult. They're occurring offshore. They're not even in the United States, and so that becomes very difficult. So just being aware of that and not biting on those things.
So you're telling me I'm not the recipient of $15 million?
Unfortunately, Gloria, probably not.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Are you working in concert with other law enforcement agencies to prevent something like this from happening?
Yeah, we do work really closely with a lot of agencies in this county, including the FBI, on fighting cybercrime. We have a regional computer forensics laboratory here in Menlo Park in this county, and that has officers from county agencies and the FBI working to help solve crimes and prevent computer crimes.
I'm just curious because we're in the heart of Silicon Valley. Do you get any help from local high-tech folks?
When, the regional computer forensic laboratory does, they work very closely with these companies and their security arms in these companies. And we have really good relationships with them, and they're very helpful in criminal investigations. In many cases, there's warrants that are required and orders that are required in order for us to access information. But once we have those things in place, they're very helpful.
What shouldn't we do? We see we're monitoring our checking account. We see something is amiss. Do I call you? What should happen? What's the next step?
Well, really, it depends upon what's you've been the victim of or what's happened to you. I already talked about it already. First of all, don't believe emails and open emails that come from strange places or places that you don't know. Don't open those emails, and don't accept them. Certainly, there's a lot of time there's links on them. So that's really key. Not giving your password to people is also very important. And then not taking for granted your credit and your credit history, and not keeping an eye on your credit and your credit history. So making sure you keep an eye on that and watch it regularly. A lot of people don't do that, but that's when you start. That way you can react to something right away when you see it.
Other than identity theft, what are some of the other cyber crimes that you're seeing?
One of the other things that we've been seeing lately, and I think people have heard about it in the news, is this whole concept of cyberbullying. We've seen some of that go on with kids and with schools and with their Facebook accounts and how they're teasing each other and that sort of thing. But that that offense can actually cross a line and become criminal in nature. People making threats, implied or expressed threats via the internet, on websites, on Facebook, and those sort of things. Those are the things that we're beginning to see, and we're acting on those. And people are getting convicted of bullying and cyberbullying. So this is something that's really unfortunate. We hear a lot about it with children. It goes on with adults, and it can be serious and it can be criminal.
Excellent advice on how to protect ourselves. Thank you so much for being here, Chief. Thank you for joining us today on City Hall in Focus. My name is Gloria Cohn.